You can talk. Just be quiet.
Oh, here we are. We're here.
We're there.
We're here.
No, you're there.
I'm still in my
But
bibs.
we're
I was
here.
trying to like stay warm.
You look good, man.
What is this
Looking
place?
good.
Trying to stay warm, dude. It's like 20 degrees in here. I'm glad there's like a bunch of. I wish we could like pan.
What is he talking about?
Pan
It's
the
like
camera.
85 in here.
Can we do side cam?
I don't know.
But can we do room cam?
Room camp.
Oh, we could do. Clint, go to side cam. We got a bunch of OGs in here tonight.
Got the old school runners.
I don't know if it's gonna focus.
Oh, there's one of them. Josh is here.
Oh, look at those two.
I think there's only 6 of us watching.
Hang on.
What's up, everyone? Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget, as always, comment. Let us know where you guys are tuning in from. Oh, here we go.
Oh, side cam.
Who do we got in here? We got Cody, Ben, Charles. Jordan sucks at turning the camera.
Jesus, Jordan, you're going to make me
Charles, Mike, Sean, Josh, Clint. We had to get a lot of bodies in here tonight because it's like 12 degrees in here. So
It's 12 degrees. We're trying to stay warm.
Huddled together for warmth.
that's why I got like a beanie on and like my little face mask.
Marlon's still fishing.
Well, it's because we did just leave the river. Should you
That's
tell
right.
these guys what happened?
I don't think we can divulge it.
We can't?
Oh, dude, it's tough. We got a real good video coming out.
We have an epic, hilarious, like,
It's going to be a good one.
kind of can't believe that it even happened video coming.
Yes, you can.
Nah, not really. We weren't expecting.
Dude, this was all like, hey, let's just go do this and see if it works. And it
Yeah,
did.
and it worked, and it was pretty amazing.
Oh man.
God. I mean, I don't know who caught it, but it was pretty sick.
The Candy Man.
So if you're not subscribed with that
His
little
name's
bell,
Willie.
the little bell on there,
Mr.
turn that bell
Wonka.
on so you know when we put that video out because it's going to be coming here in the next couple weeks. Probably in the next week, I would say, actually.
And check it out. You're going to want to watch it. It's a fun one.
Yes. So tonight we got Nick Popoff and Jordan in the studio. Cam is in the like Caribbean or something, like enjoying the sun.
Must be nice.
Yeah, must be nice. Must be nice. To be.
Must have been doing a lot of kokanee trips.
No, he's literally like on a cruise or something.
No, he's not.
No, he's not.
No, he's not a
No,
cruise.
he's not playing volleyball right now. But tonight, guys, we're going to talk a little bit about bobber dogging. Popoff's been into a couple times in the last few years talking about that with us. It's something that you do a ton on the regular.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a super... it's kind of getting popular, and it's probably the most predominant way that people
kinda
fish
getting popular.
now. You know, it once was one of the newer things in steelhead fishing, and now it's kind of taken over the industry, and everybody bobber dogs. So.
My favorite is when I get on the river in the morning and you know, I have a newer angler or something, and their first question, they make 2 casts and they go, "Is this bobber dogging?" Because everybody's heard it, everybody's talked about it, and everybody actually wants to know if they're doing it.
That's right.
Exactly. Exactly. And one of the things, too, I wanted to talk about is, like, we get the question every single week. Clint, I just airdropped you a...
Got it.
We get the question every single week about, like, can you bobber dog from the bank? Like, does it work? And that's actually a tutorial that we just went up and filmed today.
Yeah, it'll be a
But
good one, too.
That'll be a good one to talk about. But before we do you guys have any trips? You guys have got any openings or anything coming up in the coming weeks for Steelhead?
I got a little bit of March open. Saved a bit of time in March to move some high water dates and stuff too, just in case through January and February. But you know, there'll be Steelhead to catch all the way through April into May. So if you guys want to go fishing or you want to come out and learn, you know, or if you want to book a trip earlier, you know, for the summer season or the fall season or anything like that, you can always get a hold of us through the good website or on our pages. Jordan Kennedy on Messenger.
Peel the Reel on Facebook. I'm
I
pretty
think
full for Steelhead season, but
Yeah.
I am booking my spring Chinook, and even Buoy 10 is starting to fill. So
Exactly.
I'm trying to just kind of
Never too early to get a jump on it.
get in the boat. You know
Don't
what I
wait.
mean?
Don't
'Cause
wait
there's
to
lot
read a
of-
forecast to make you pessimistic.
I know.
Yeah,
right?
well, and I just wanted to say that really quickly, too, because it seems like we get comments from you guys all the time in the videos and stuff asking about fishing with you guys,
Yeah.
and so I just wanted to let you know that if you ever want to go out fishing with these guys, they all have social media accounts, 168 Fishing, Peel the Reel, or you can just contact us directly on Addicted, and we can get you out fishing with these dudes.
Look at all the Midwesterners in the house. Thanks, guys.
What's up in the Midwest?
Yeah,
Do
you
you, a
guys
lot
are
of
in
you
the
guys
house.
bobber dog out there? That's what I want to know. I'm going to get a prize pack going.
yeah.
Get a prize pack going.
Today we're
Yeah.
gonna give away Marlon's truck. You probably wouldn't like that.
One
Prize
day.
packs. Look at all
One
these
day.
people, man. East Coast. My eyes are so blurry from being outside, I can't even see anything.
We'll get your
wanna
questions
think.
mustered up, you guys. So as we kind of dive into the bobber dogging topic today, we're going to talk, one, the setup, the rod selection, the strategies of fishing it, and then we'll go in depth a little bit more on what we're going to use Probably stray away from the color conversation and a lot of that different stuff, but more of just what you want on this bobber dogging setup. Because a lot of times you're going to be fishing two things.
Yeah,
In most situations, because of the way you're presenting this presentation down the river, it allows you to put more stuff on your line, spread it out, cover more water, and work through big sections of river.
Yeah.
Ooh, I need some of that.
I think we're going to give some of this away.
God.
All right, guys. So the first prize we're going to give away, this is called Nick Wax, and it's basically a tech wash and spray for your waders, your Gore-Tex, for all that kind of stuff. This is actually a new company that we're going to be working with this year, so we'll be educating you guys a little bit more on how this stuff works in coming videos and stuff like that. But I've used it on, I had a G4 Pro jacket from Sims that was like 3 years old, and I just went through the process of just doing the wash, doing the revive stuff on it. It's insane.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a brand new jacket now. It
Yeah,
like revived the whole thing.
I was telling you that today. Like, I used it, and it was incredible how well it did. Well, I only got to use it once because I lost my jacket the next day.
Oh my god!
I might have left.
Sounds like it worked great.
I left my. I literally.
It was so slick you lost it.
Yeah, it just flew right out of the boat. I washed it and then fished one day in the rain, and I tucked it in the back seat of Dave's boat because I was using his boat, and I just never even looked back there. And I got back to the lodge, and I'm like, oh my god, my jacket's
just flew
gone.
out.
And it wasn't even a year old, dude.
One
Pro
time
guy.
that happened to Lonnie. He was towing his boat on the freeway, and I think he had his Sims jacket in there. He gets all the way to the launch, realizes that he lost it, so he gets back on the freeway and starts heading back the other way. Finds the jacket on the other side on the freeway, takes the exit, goes and got the jacket.
Perfect.
Just lucky, dude.
Yeah, my guys went back and looked for it, but out in the where I was fishing, there's a lot of fishermen, and if someone found that, I don't think they're really.
They were gonna turn it back in.
Look, a brand new $600 coat.
Yeah. All right, guys. So if you guys want a chance to win this, all you got to do is just share this out there. If you're on Facebook, share it to the Facebook groups and share it to your page or your friends and family that might want to talk about fishing tonight. If you're on YouTube, text message to a couple buddies. Tell your friends to come subscribe to Addicted Fishing. And we're going to randomly select one of you. You got to comment. We got to ask these guys a question. The question is going to be, have you ever tried bobber dogging before? Have you tried it? Have you ever done it? So just say yes or say no, and we're going to randomly select from those comments below for someone to win this little pack of Nick Wax.
And I want to know about the Midwest guys. Do they do this? That's a good question. I don't know if this is something they even do out there.
I don't either. Yeah, that's a good idea.
I mean, they've been fishing similar to.
They probably did it on accident.
Right. Yeah, we're bobber dogging.
Yeah.
Easy, right?
Look, guys, we're doing it. High five. Excellent.
We are. We're bobber dogging, baby.
Party.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, looks like there's a lot of never done it. No's.
No. Yes.
I mean, there's quite a few yes, too, but looks like there's definitely a lot of no's.
Yes, I have, and it's very effective. Very true. Nope, but want to try. Does it work on what?
Does it work on what?
Torre?
Yes, I think it works on Torre. Yeah, that's just like a artificial vortex.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm not sure on that, actually.
I don't know if it works on Torre. I think it works for any.
And there's two bottles because one of them is a wash.
It says right on the front, recommended for Gore-Tex.
Yeah.
But I can only imagine it would work for Torre, too, because it's the same kind of material.
There you go. Let's give it a run.
Yeah, I'll have to get some education from the guys at Nick Wax on that, because I don't know if it works on Torre or not.
But it comes in two bottles. You get a wash and then the waterproofing. And it's recommended to do both. That's what I did with mine, did the wash and the...
That's what I do. And when it's funny, too, because if you look at like a lot of your Sims jackets and stuff, it'll actually tell you on there to dry them.
Yeah.
And drying and like getting, like, it's something in the Gore-Tex like reactivates it.
Yeah. That's what it is, yeah.
Gets the dirt out of the Gore-Tex and opens up the pores.
We need you on here.
Science Josh.
Bring him on up.
Science Josh.
Thank God Josh came today.
I know.
He's already read up on
This is
this.
science fair.
Yeah. I learned that when I read the Sims manual.
Yeah, right?
Have any of you guys out there watching use this stuff? If you guys use Nick Wax, do you have any experience with it? Just curious what you guys think on this stuff.
To try.
What in the world was that?
Charles, turn your phone
Charles,
on
you're
silent.
out.
Charles, you're banned.
Dan Charles.
Watched your video.
Give me that Gerber knife
I
back.
missed it. Isn't bobber dogging just drift fishing with a float?
Exactly.
Yes, I mean, and essentially it is.
Jordan, are you getting some of these questions written down, buddy?
No, I am. So, that kind of jumps back to the very beginning of this conversation where we're kind of joking about people doing it on accident and so on and so forth. So it's a method of essentially drift fishing with a float. The nice part about it, and why there's so many, why we actually throw jokes around with it, there's so many variables to bobber dogging as far as setup, as far as weight size, as far as what you're putting on the end of your line. Bobber dogging is a term, in my opinion. It's more like a dictionary term for a style of fishing, and that is to fish with the current, with a drift fishing presentation on the bottom.
Well, it's how I always explain it to people. The difference, like when you're drift fishing in current, you cast, your straight or your 45, it swings. Well, eventually your swing turns inside, and you're fishing. You're pulled out of the current seam. When you're bobber dogging with this flat style float, which we'll get more into, but with this flat style float, is what it does is the current pushes on this float, and it allows you to free spool, keeping your gear in the seam that you're trying to fish. Like we were talking today, we filmed a tutorial on how to bobber dog from the bank, essentially. That's why it's so effective. You can cover long stretches of water with a single cast, and instead of casting and it swinging to the inside of the current,
that weight holds it right into that line that you're
and
in.
it just traps. Yeah. This is basically a rudder. It's just pulling your gear downstream by the current, and it's just dogging you straight downstream.
Kevin said it great. Side drifting with an indicator equals bobber dogging.
Yeah.
So again, it's more of a dictionary term for this. Yep. Now what you're going to put on the end makes it that fishing.
Don't dive in too deep yet.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
But I'm just explaining the term because the guys keep asking, is float fishing and is bobber dogging the same thing? And no, it's not. If I'm essentially float fishing, I'm going to say I'm fishing a jig or a worm or a spawn sack.
Float fishing is more a vertical style fishing where your presentation is vertical and it's suspended from the bottom. When you're bobber dogging, your gear is technically, the term bobber dogging is to keep your gear on the bottom. Your weight is dragging the bottom. Your gear is presented either in front of it, behind it, however you see.
And even as simply,
big argument on that.
It's like what popped into my mind instantly is your weight.
Yeah.
How you're setting. One, I'd say float fishing, you're using an inline weight of some sort.
Yep.
Whether it's sliding up down your line or it's fixed with the swivels. If you're going to be float fishing, you're going to be using. I'm clicking that.
I was just
thing
call you
so
Cam.
bad.
Hey,
Sorry, that was really bad. Sorry, everybody.
Banned. I'm answering
but
questions.
float fishing
Actually,
is.
I suck at that. You got to do
Yeah,
it.
give me that back. I'm not going to click the pen. I'm good at this.
Jordan's
Float
banned.
fishing, you're going to use some kind of inline weight, and bobber dogging, you're going to use some kind of 3-way or some kind of dragging weight, whether it be Dave's Tango, whether it be some sort of split shot or pencil lead or anything like that. So that's kind of where I'm drawing the line in between float and bobber
Correct.
dogging.
Your weight is hanging off of your setup versus being in line with your setup.
And don't go anywhere yet because we are going to kind of go over the whole setup. We'll bring a bobber up here. We'll bring a whole rigging up here and kind of show you guys how it's done if you haven't done it before. Because I did see there was a ton of people that hadn't done it before.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So.
And I think it's just starting, like, the guys who have been doing it. I mean,
That's another question. How long has it been around?
I've been doing it for years now.
I have no idea.
I kind of,
It's so hard to say on that because it's like who started it. Like, it could have went.
Yeah.
Pictures drawn up of it.
Right, yeah. I mean, you could go back. I mean, there's guys that claim that they.
Again, people have been accidentally doing this since the beginning of fishing. Yeah.
I mean, it's just a very effective way to keep your gear in the strike zone for a longer period of time. And it's also, you get snagged a lot less if it's done properly. Yeah, you're saving gear, 100%. Like,
a whole lot less.
Yep. And especially if you know the seam that you're fishing, you can really dial it in and keep your gear in the strike zone for a lot longer.
So kind of jumping right along line, what would a Dave's Tango Free be used for, bobber dogging or drift? I'd say bobber dogging.
So guys do use them. Actually, I have used them for drift fishing as well, but it's just the style of fishing with a Dave's Tango Free and bobber dogging. It rolls along the bottom. It's quiet. It has the rubber coating on it, which kind of keeps you from getting hung up, and it's definitely probably the most, in my opinion, the best weight for it.
And now jumping right along to one of the good questions I just saw again, what kind of water you want? I mean, I feel like there's a specific type of water that you want to target bobber dogging.
Yeah, and we just did a tutorial on this too, which is going to come out, so there'll be more it'll go.
There'll
through
be a
everything.
visual aspect
Yes,
to
a
it.
visual aspect of what we're talking about here shortly. But there's the cool thing about this is you can fish it in any type of water. You can fish it in your walking speed water. The only thing you can't really fish it in is big swirly water. Technically bobber dogging, you want your float moving downriver and essentially dragging that gear downstream. So walking speed water, little seams, little slots. You can do it on big flats where it's kind of slow, where you typically, it's too slow to drift fish, but you can still walk your bobber dog and set up downstream. So it's a huge. That's why it's so popular. It's just a very versatile method to allowing you to catch fish.
Absolutely. Clint, let's pick a winner, dude. All right, guys, let's pick a winner for the Nickwack stuff.
There was a question, right? It was the yes or no?
Yep.
And don't forget, there's a super chat. I was just about to say, there's a question you guys can't live without. Be sure to drop a super chat, and we'll get to it right away.
Yeah, there's a little basically $sign down there by the comments. If you guys are on YouTube, if you guys want to super chat, you guys can send stickers. It'll highlight it, and we'll make sure that we do not miss your comment. And we just appreciate the support if you guys want to support the channel through super chats.
Going on a guided trip, learning a new river.
What do you got, Clint?
Techniques, but when it's stealing.
Right, yeah. Who do you got?
It's only Artem. That's a whole.
Hold on.
There
Let's
we go.
Pick our winner here. And
yeah, let's pick this winner, Jordan. The Man with No Limits.
Ooh.
Man with No Limits on YouTube.
Ooh.
Sounds like Jordan's hair.
You won yourself some Nickwacks. If you could just shoot us an email to orders@addicted.fishing.
That guy's
Clint, if you
living
can throw that
large.
up
Yeah,
for
he
me.
is.
Jordan won't shut up and stop talking. Keeps just.
Jesus.
There you go. Orders at
Start clicking the
addicted.fishing.
pen again.
Quick.
Yeah,
It's that seat,
took,
dude.
It is. It's that
take
seat.
Cameron's
Like it's
seat,
the it's
you
the
get
Cameron
abused.
seat. Basically, you just once you're in that seat, it like
I'm
provokes you to just talk.
gonna bite my tongue
24/7.
here. I'm not gonna say anything. Cameron's my friend.
Plus, he's got way more hair than Cameron.
But let's go back up to that last super chat because that one we could go on. That could be a whole live feed, honestly.
Could we do an episode on guide etiquette? Going on a guided trip, learning a new river and techniques, but when is it stealing secrets?
I know what he's trying to say. When
Yeah.
is it acceptable for guys to go out with guides and with a total intention? And I would say not really.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do that, you should be honest with the guide, and if he's comfortable enough with where and what he fishes to let you do that, then that's kosher. If
Yeah,
you tell him off first hand, I want to learn this river, will you take me there? And he takes you there, that's on him.
Yeah.
But you can't hold secrets and keep a GPS in your pocket all day because that's going to get you burned really quick. And honestly, what it kind of rolls back down to is you want some of these dudes on your side.
Mm-hmm.
I would go. I don't care if I was a better fisherman than somebody and I knew it or anything else. I'd still go with that person on that river or still keep that guide in my back pocket as a friend and as a fishing guide because he'll make sure to take care of you. The experiences that you'll get, longevity from going with a guide and being respectful of where he takes you and going and doing those trips with him and not going back and poaching his stuff will get you 10 times more experience in the long run than you will learning one trip with a guy that'll never take you in his boat again.
Yeah. And it is, I mean, it's just one of those scenarios. It's kind of like your own etiquette, you know. Does that, if you took a buddy fishing to your favorite spot and showed him exactly how to catch the fish, would you be happy if he brought his buddies there the next day? Probably not. So, I mean, it's, I always say,
Because it's not what we try to do as guides is burn ourselves out of work.
Every
Comments,
time,
please.
Bird Box. We're backing down plugs, Bird Box.
It's also very much up to the guy. It's
Yeah,
not-
yeah, and
a
it's-
secret,
if-
you're not gonna guide.
I would say just
Yeah.
be honest. Just always be honest. And if he's like totally, I'll teach you every single nook and cranny of this
I have
river
lots
right
of guys
outside
that
of
call
Portland.
me that they say, hey, I just purchased a drift boat. I want to learn how to fish and row the boat and be in a safe area, and I take them somewhere where I don't fish. No, just kidding. No, I just, you know, I'm real open with people. Like, they want to go do that, and that's their thing. They tell me up front, and you know, what's the worst that happens? You say yes or no, and if you're comfortable doing it, do it. The thing is you still have to be able. If a guy goes out and shows you his spot, like, you know, where he fishes his stretch of river and how to fish it, you still got to go out there and be able to catch fish. It's not as easy as like, oh, I know where he fishes now. You still got to go out there and
You know,
fish
it's
properly.
funny that you say that because that's the one thing that I've always just thought was so funny about people thinking that like a video or a picture or something like that affects a fishery because at the end of the day, unless you know like the conditions, the
Where the
times to
fish
go,
hold.
when the fish are there, where they're holding, like it doesn't matter if you saw a picture or a video or not. Doesn't mean you're going to go catch fish there.
Right, exactly.
You know, like it just doesn't. You still, it's gonna take. It takes a lot of time and energy and effort on the water to do it. That's why we always preach like, no matter how many tutorials or things we put out there to all you guys, we're trying to help you catch more fish. But nothing is better than just getting out there and actually
doing
fishing.
it yourself. Yep,
Nothing.
100%.
Well, let's get off that. Like I said, that could be an entire life.
Yeah,
there.
seriously.
Let's,
Let's,
let's go back to the bobber dog.
yeah.
well, let's
Clint,
talk
there
really
was
quick
one
before we
super
do,
chat.
Jordan. I wanted to get an update. And Clint, can you throw that flyer up there for me, buddy?
And there was a super chat up at the top that we missed.
Okay, we'll scroll back up to it.
Woo! That's
here you
such a
guys
cool
go.
poster.
January 23rd, we're going to be at Bob's Sporting Goods for our second annual Addicted Winter Bash. There's only 4 more events that closes out the 12 events for us to give away the boat. So there's going to be 2 more on there's one on January 23rd at Bob's. That's the one we want you to come to next, and we'll show you the other dates once we kind of release them here in the next week or 2. But that's the one we want you to know about now. So get that on your calendar, January 23rd. Come hang out with us at Bob's Sporting Goods. It's a great time. You can get another raffle ticket to be entered to win the Umpqua little boat package. And yeah, it's going to be a good time. Jordan's going to be talking about hardware, and he didn't even know it until right when he just saw that flyer.
Goodness gracious. You shouldn't have told me till the day of. Even. I'd rather prefer
He's
it
way
that
more
way.
prepared that
I'm
way.
way better just on my feet. Just kick me out the
Justin
door,
Bergen.
Captain.
Why no river names? Don't poke the bear, Justin.
Yeah. So
The
January
Bobber Doggin
23rd, the
episode.
other thing I wanted to talk about is the Sportsman Show, which we're all going to be at. We're all going to have a booth. So if you guys didn't know, we're doing the Portland Sportsman Show. It's February 5th through the 9th. I'm not sure what aisle way we're in, but we're right basically in between the Fisherman's booth and the Bob's Sporting Goods booth. All of our booths are right in between all that. So come hang out with us the 5th through the 9th. Do not bring the flu with you.
God, stay
And
home
come
if
hang
you're
out.
sick, please.
Yeah.
I don't want to get sick. I got a long season in front of me. I just got it a week ago.
You've been sick at every single sportsman show.
Every
Yep.
show.
Every single show, it's either I'm sick like that week, like while I'm there, or I get sick right after it.
It doesn't
So,
matter what you do. I'm sick because I can't wait before. You're going to get so sick.
yeah.
Wash your hands.
I was thinking
Lots of
about one
vitamin
thing
C.
that might work is if I'm just super drunk the whole time. Just like blasted because if you had like that much like vodka through your veins, there's no way that sickness could get to you. Isn't that a good
It just
plan?
depends on the quality of liquor.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah, vodka and orange juice, perfect. Then you're getting vitamin C.
so someone bring him a pint.
You can
for
even
the
put it. You
weekend.
can even put it in your little koozie. I mean,
Make sure if you bring me vodka that it's Ciroc, please. I only drink Ciroc.
that's what I was gonna say. You got to drink the quality
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
if you want to not get sick.
So Marlon will need a shot a day.
Yes,
to keep the flu away.
Life of Dawn, Clint will we have a little section set up for Clint, little gardening booth. We're gonna have a couple pineapples there.
Yep.
We have a little watering section for your kids, so he's gonna have all these little like pea plants that you can water with your kids and stuff.
And he'll show
So,
you how to cut up a pineapple.
Yeah.
Yep.
So do not forget
And grow one.
hashtag Loho Clint. Also, the movement is happening at the Portland Sportsman
boy.
Show this year.
Get ready.
So come join us.
I hate you guys.
Can we get a shot of Clint's face right now?
Clint, you want to scroll back up to that super chat we missed? We don't want to miss those. It was kind of a ways up too. Sorry about that, guys.
There it is.
There you go. So, Bombalala Shooter, I think is what it is. Thank you so much for the super chat. You had a question: is either method more useful in specific waters?
Either method.
I think he's talking like float fishing or bobber dogging. Correct me if I'm wrong there. That was the one, Clint. You got it.
No, I mean, I would say vertical float fishing is going to be better in your slower or bigger boils, or otherwise you can pretty much bobber dog through all of that, and it all depends on what you're fishing. If you're fishing beads and yarn and stuff like that, then yes, bobber dogging is going to be your But if you're fishing worms and jigs, then obviously you're vertical fishing. So it
Why are you
depends on
laughing over there?
Oh, the little Clint. I just think
Yes, dude. Hashtag Loho Clint in the building.
I love it, dude.
Dustin Wake. How does Dustin Wake know about malfusion? Let's just keep that out of this.
I love it.
conversation.
Oh,
it's probably the Oliver Nye podcast.
Here's to Mullen's bottle. We all want to see this. I'm drunk at the show.
Austin, thank you so
dude,
much for the
send
super
it.
chat, buddy. Austin Songer. Don't forget about those little stickers, too. We always love when you send the little pineapple stickers for Clint. It makes me laugh every time. Little dancing pineapple.
Someone just sent a pineapple, carrots. It was perfect.
It was perfect. It was perfect. So should we? I think that's all the updates. Just the Sportsman Show, and then the bash dates that we have coming up. Make sure if you guys don't follow us on Instagram, that you follow us on Instagram, because we try to do more daily live updates on our Instagram stories. So if you want to keep in the loop of what's going on more and more with us, follow us on Instagram, because that's where the flyers and a lot of that stuff will post sooner than anywhere else.
Question.
So
I'll just answer it.
yeah, let's dive right into bobber dogging. I think.
Got a rod here.
Okay.
Let's go
You
over
want
it
to
quick.
answer that question?
We're gonna go.
Justin has a question. He says, best presentation for bobber dogging, well, bobber digging, but bobber dogging worm, jig, or bead. In my opinion, it all just depends on the type of water you're fishing, and the water clarity is obviously a big part of what we do. That's bobber dogging. is really effective in higher scenarios, like when you got, that walking pace
Perfect.
water,
Look
higher
at that.
higher water scenarios. It works really well. You could do it in low water too, though. It's a super. There's no perfect answer to that, Justin, because if it's clear water, I'm going to probably fish jigs.
Yeah, Justin, that thing will get answered throughout the whole extent of this live feed.
Yeah.
Jordan, get that super chat. That one's to you.
Okay, I learned so much for tutorials, live feeds. Pumped to meet you on the 31st. Can't wait to meet you either, buddy. Looking forward to getting out there.
Bam.
And thank you for the super chat,
Thank you
Colin.
so much,
and all you
Colin.
guys that super chat us, we appreciate it. It means a lot that
100%.
you guys would support the channel and support the content that we're putting out, because we are putting a ton of effort into what we're doing here. So
Taking
People have no idea how
days
much it
out of the
is.
week. Yeah.
people have no idea.
So-
But it's fun. We enjoy it as well. So don't think we don't.
Going right into it. Whoever's down there talking about the rod, talk about the rod. We'll go into this.
This
then
is
we'll go down the
Pop-Off
line
setup.
here.
He's the bait caster guy. Why do you choose a bait caster for float fishing?
Well, for me, I can control the line a lot better. When I cast, and especially when you're bobber fishing, you got all that line laying on the water and stuff that it's just super easy to mend. But for a beginner, I would never recommend a bait casting reel. I would say spinning reel, 100%.
How did you like this X rod when you were messing
Loved
with it
it.
today?
It was awesome.
Isn't it insane how light it is? And
It's
like I've been
sensitive
talking to
scent,
Jordan, the
too.
scent, dude, you can feel every little
Yeah.
tick that
I
you
know.
hear.
It was really neat. And having the rod run through the hand is kind of cool. Like having the
you can feel
exposure.
it. There's a little birdie that told me they may be at the Sportsman Show this
I
year.
heard a little something as well.
So you guys be on the lookout for those. Oh, Justin Kohler, thank you so
Yes.
much for the super chat, buddy. Feel free to ask a question too, man, if you guys want on those super chats. We'd love to answer anything you guys are looking for there. So talk about
bait casting reel. If you're an experienced fisherman and you have experience using a bait casting reel, I think it's so much more effective. You're right there when your bobber goes under to just you're already on your reel, so I can engage it with one hand, and you can set the hook so much quicker. In my opinion, your reflex time is much faster when your thumb's on the reel, controlling the line coming off. As far as the rod goes, there's so many different rods. I fish the Guide Select 10.6s. I have a mix of the 8 to 17s and the 6 to 12s. It just depends on, I use those heavier rods for my heavier days, bigger flow days, when I'm using, 2/3 ounce or half ounce. I like that little bit of a heavier rod. The most important thing with the bobber dogging rod, though, is length. Having a rod that you can clear line with off of the water, because you want that floating naturally. And so if you have a rod that's super short and you got a bunch of line laying in the water, you have an 8-foot rod, it's tough to continually just mend, and you're always messing with your bobber, and you lose the natural presentation of bobber dogging. So having a long rod and braided line is super pivotal, as well as having a braided line. There are some guys, which I covered in the tutorial again today, you can put a bumper on from your braided line to your float, add a bumper on there. I typically just tie straight to my braid. But long rod,
I'm thinking what we do is we cut off the top there and we just get over to side cam and we rig this thing up.
yeah, we can
show
do that.
people start
Absolutely.
to finish.
Yeah,
But-
absolutely.
Along the lines of what he's saying, it doesn't matter what rod, whether you want to buy the most expensive and nicest one or you want to go seriously bare bones, the cheapest, just make sure it's over 9 feet long.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you're going to buy one rod and it's only going to be rigged up with one thing, and that's with a bobber dogging or some sort of float setup, make it over 9 feet long.
Yeah, I always say 9.9, 10.6. I run all 10.6s. Some guys don't like that long of a rod in their boat if you're fishing on the boat. And if you're fishing from the bank, the other thing you got to think about too is when you're casting, you got a lot of stuff behind you, and you're in tight places a lot of times. So 9.9 is a pretty dang good number to go with as far as rod length.
So we got a couple more super chats. I see you said you wanted an Addicted jacket in black. So we will have at the Portland Sportsman Show this year a new variation of this jacket, which I don't know if I want to tell you about yet. You're just going to have to come to the show or wait till we post some pictures of it. So we will have one that's not camo. It's not all black, though, but it's close to what you're asking for. So thanks so much for the super chat, buddy. And then Jeff, we appreciate that as well.
Thank you, buddy.
Okay, what do you got?
You want to
Yeah, let's chop that thing
chop
off.
it off and go through the setup?
Side cam it, pop off, and get
So
over
the
there.
braided line that you're going to want, while he's doing that, the braided line you're going to want on your main line, we've kind of strayed towards going a little bit heavier. And I know Pop-Off has done the same over the last
Yeah, I
couple
like
years.
the 40 to 50, the freaking Dominate from
Yep.
Tough Line.
Yep. Anything over, I mean, even 30 pound, I think is a little light anymore. Because what happens is that coating that they put on that braided line, or just the stiffness of the line in general, wears out over time. Because you're using a big length of your line every time, so you're constantly managing and you're constantly messing with that line. So that 40, that 50, sometimes even 60 pound braid, guys have been using. It helps it last a lot longer, and that float or that line will actually float on top of the surface of the river a lot better than a smaller diameter line, which is going to want to cut down and sink.
Yeah, that's good. You can reel some of the slack up. Just go do this bad boy.
Okay.
Is that good?
Yeah. Woohoo. Let a little out right there. Actually, even a little more because I'm going to tie this knot. There you go. Use my new little Gerber knife, bruh.
Huh?
New Gerber knife. That thing just almost cut my finger off.
Dude, those Empower knives are pretty insane.
Ooh, I like the auto eject on it. Super. Alright, I wish this rod was facing the other direction, but whatever. Alright, can we see in there?
Facing the other direction?
Well, just so I was threading the stuff on this
What's
way.
blowing that out right there, Clint? Is it just the black or what?
Just the
this?
light, I think.
Probably.
Give me a little more line, Marla.
Okay. Got it?
Get rid of that. Move the fillet away. Try it. Sorry.
It's easier said than done.
I don't know, dude.
No, the tan's going to be way brighter. Look at the bobber on the
Just-
tan.
Well, it's because the mat blows out everything around it, is what Clint's trying to
Right.
say. Just try it real quick.
Let's see what you're saying.
It focuses on the black, and then it, yeah, see?
Can you see better?
Yeah, that's just 100. And look, your logo's right there.
Hey, look at
Peel
that.
the reel.
I wish I still had some of those, but they all got stolen at the Sportsman Show. Literally, my whole stack of stickers while it was closed. It's kind of weird. Yeah, I think someone hates me. I don't know. What's new? All right. So, kind of here's the rundown, guys. I am going to start from the bobber stop, hopefully.
Do you need a new bobber stop?
No, we'll just leave. Do you want me to show that
No,
on?
I mean, you can.
So, we'll start with this bobber stop. So these are just a little.
Maybe I should get.
Maybe we should do a new one.
That thing's pretty tattered, dude.
Yeah, just put these on today, bro. All right, Marlon's making me put new ones on. Stay tuned while I get my bobber stop. Oh, there we go. So weird doing it this way.
Side cam.
Jordan, let's get you in the side cam, please. Can we at least get your ponytail in there? Perfect. All right, guys. So here it is. If you can see this is going to be repetitive for some of you guys who have seen this before, but this is a bobber stop, just a little piece of braid.
Get right up in there.
Like, can you?
There you go.
There we go. So, just a little piece of braid that has a knot that's wrapped around a piece of plastic. I'm going to take my braid and put it through
Dude,
there.
when we come back,
And
should I
then
be
you
wearing a
just
dad hat?
slide that piece of plastic out. And then you pull the ends and cinches down like so.
Like over my
Makes
ears,
a
too.
very nice clean knot on your line. It's really important to pull those tight because
Welcome back to the Addicted
the
Fishing
idea
Show.
of bobber dogging is that you want, you know, it's a really specific depth you're going to be running, you know. So if you're fishing in 6 or 7 feet of water that's 6 or 7 feet deep, you're going to want to run about a foot deeper. So you'll run 7 or 8 feet deep on your bobber stop. And this little stop right here. So I just cut those tag ends off like so. All right. Next, I'm going to put on a bead. And that bead just flushes up against the bobber stop. And next we'll put on our float here. So now, oh actually I missed one, sorry. So this is really important. So after that bead, I put on a corky, just a your normal corky. And this becomes like an insurance policy for you. So, and I'll kind of show you what I mean when I am done setting this up. So then next we go to our bobber. This float right here is there's so many different styles you can use. The ones I fish myself are typically the fish field bobbers. They have a bobber dogging style. They have 3 different variations in sizes. And then one more thing below that bobber, I'm going to throw on one more bead just to protect my knot. And all that's going to do, it's really important to keep these beads on there though, because that is going to protect your knot and it's going to stop on that bobber stop right there. There you go. So you can see how it all, now when your gear is fishing properly and you cast it out, that's what your gear should look like. It should be pushed up tight. Your bead should be tight to your corky should be tight to your bobber, etc. Now next, this is kind of where we dive into the, what the hell is that? This was what Jordan was referring to as far as the swivel goes. So this is a standard, can you see this, Clint? Mm-hmm. So that is your 3-way swivel right there. So one end to your main line, one end goes to your main line, one end goes to your leader, and then your weight hangs from this here. So I'll just take here and tie a quick, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this on camera, but
You're in there.
I just tie a Palomar knot here. Hold that nice and tight. Take your Gerber knife or scissors, cut that little tag in, and there is your bobber dogging setup. So that is, right there is what your, I'm going to pull this nice and tight so you guys can see it here. So that is the full setup there. You can see one bead down there protecting the knot, the bobber, the corky, your bobber stop bead. And this is really important. It can't be any bead. It has to be a small bead that will stop on this piece of braid that you've tied on with the bobber stop there. So that is your setup. And then you can go to your business end. Do you want to go still do this on the side cam? This, I guess I can show it real quick on the side
probably
cam.
just because.
So basically I'll tie my leader now to the bottom end of that with just your normal fisherman's knot. 6, 7, 8 wraps. Back and through. Get it wet. It's not funny, guys. Trim my tag end.
Wait,
off there.
do you need some gloves?
I just took them off, bro. Just took those off.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I do.
I'm
so
surprised
I
nobody.
with them.
I'm surprised
I know nobody
said
said
anything
about me not having gloves on. Now you can see how pretty my hands are. That's why I wear gloves. Okay. All right. So this is what I run afterwards. So this will be kind of your standard setup. There's so many different varieties we could go through. It could be a double bead setup, a yarny and a bead, a yarny by itself, beta eggs followed by a bead. But this one is a yarn setup or a yarny. So it's about 3 feet a leader, and then just your yarn ball. And on these, you still have your egg loop, so you can add bait to that, or shrimp, or, you know, check your regulations. Some rivers can't have bait. And then,
And I saw a little while you're explaining all this. Like some guy asked about putting a snap on your main line sliding. I don't think we're using enough weight, and why I think a lot of us don't do that. One, it's an extra step. It tends to tangle a little bit. Mm-hmm. And 2, you don't necessarily use enough weight to inflict that hookup.
Yeah.
And that's why we do that a lot in the Big River, a lot of those places, because you don't want that 12-ounce lead, that 8-ounce lead fixed to the hook where that fish is fighting that lead. Yep. We're only using a half to a quarter ounce, maybe a half ounce tops when we're doing this. So
even smaller at times when there's low river conditions. I mean, I'm talking we're using split shots,
yep.
or 1/8 of an ounce, or so your overall setup, and then off of that, you want to go to the side cam one more time, real quick, Clint? So off of this yarny, here, you just tie your secondary option onto there. I use what's called a Duncan Loop. We've done videos in the past on how to tie that knot, so I'm not going to do it here because it's pretty tough to see with fluorocarbon. But so basically, you're just tying it right off the shank of the hook, and then you come down to your bead right here,
Oakville Farmer, I have never actually been able to watch the fish eat the hook with the line on it, but I don't see it ever really inflict much of it, honestly.
What was the question?
He's asking about that second line tied off the back of the hook, if you ever worry about it getting in the way.
No, because I catch about 50% of my fish off of that top
I
hook.
really have
mean,
never
it's-
seen it inflict anything.
No,
you
and
know?
actually some days they eat the top one better than they eat the back one. It's, I don't know, there's no, not that I know.
Again, I
anyways.
couldn't get a fish to tell me.
Yeah, I haven't asked one lately.
No, I don't speak fish.
But, so that's your basic setup there, guys.
Theoretically.
Now, I do want to show this real quick. So, when I was talking about that corky being vital to your setup, it's like an insurance policy. You don't have to have that corky on there, but it's awesome because if you use a big enough corky that you can see visually, when you cast this thing and it lays down in the water and your weight hits the water, your bobber is going to slide up and everything is going to be very tight like that. You know, your bead, your corky, your bobber will all be facing downriver in a nice tight form. Now, if you cast, which a lot of the times, man, we're using long leaders, 2 leaders at a time. Sometimes you're using 3 feet, you know, to your yarning and 3 feet to your bead. So you got 6 feet of line whipping out there, and you can get tangled a lot. So this right here is kind of your indicator insurance policy when
That
you
you're
get
not.
tangled. Yes, because a lot of times you'll see your cast and you'll see your corky just kind of hanging right there, and your bobber stop will be 5 feet up your line. Well, that tells you you're tangled. You might as well reel in, untangle, and recast again. So I more use that as a visual insurance policy for me. You know, that corky on there. It needs to be bright, something you can see. And other than that,
Finally, somebody found the dad hat. Oh, 2 in a row, dad hat. Oh, 3 in a row. Yeah,
This
there
is
they
like
go.
my alter ego.
Here it goes.
I'm gonna call myself Marlando French.
Marlando French.
oh, Marlando. You have to refer to him as Marlando when he's in that.
When I'm in the dad hat, my name is only Marlando.
All right.
Wow, how did your jeans get so tight? What are those?
Why can I see your toes? Why are you wearing Birkenstocks?
Roast it. I love it.
That's great. But these are available on the website now. Little pitch.
Dadhats.com.
Yep. All the dad hats. I need to get a couple for my father. Exactly. All the dad hats
Well,
are
it's just
on the
that
website.
for years we just don't do them because we don't wear those style of hats. But we got so many people asking for them over the years that I finally just made some. So people want them, they can wear them. Okay, all you both have to put it on now, just to see what it looks
There's
like.
no way it's going to get big enough.
Dude, I'm going to look like such a badass.
Put it
in
as
that.
big as possible.
Dude, I don't want it after all that hair's been in there.
You can do it first.
No, you go. I want to see it. Let's get some of that ponytail on there, dude.
It doesn't even look bad on Jordan. Looks like a normal hat.
Dude, that looks good
I'll take
on
your
you,
kid
bro. I'll take your kid fishing. You see this thing? Oh, God, dude. I feel like I have the...
Oh, dude.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Get this guy a Coors Light.
Give me a Coors Light right now. It's dadhats.com. Oh, God.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Dude, I need some bifocals with that, dude.
All right, guys, we're gonna give you another
Thanks for
opportunity
tuning in, Tim.
to win
Great
a
getting
little
out there with
prize
you
pack.
today.
We got an Okuma fishing hat and one of the Gerber Defenders. These are a tether.
Jordan looks like a fly fisherman.
These are a tether that you can put on your waders and store your tools, like your Gerber scissors or whatever. They're super nice. They have a little lock on them.
Dude, let's give away a dad hat.
Should we give away that dad hat too? Okay, sounds good. We'll give that away next. But right now, you're going to get an Okuma hat and a Gerber Defender. All you got to do is please share this out there if you haven't. If you're on YouTube, text message it to a couple buddies. Tell them to come subscribe to Addicted Fishing. Come join us. We're talking about fishing. If you're on Facebook, share it to your family, friends, Facebook groups. And do not forget, thumbs up this video. I just checked on YouTube, and for as many people as are watching, there isn't very many thumbs up. So you guys just don't like us or what? Come on now.
Come on, we're getting sensitive.
Somebody did ask what these were called.
The processor.
Processor scissors.
Those are the Gerber processor, and basically they have a little section on them that you can,
They're pretty cool, really.
has a scaler on it, so you can scale your fish. They're a pair of scissors, and then
Addicted
also,
fanny pack.
if you go like this and you open it up, they're a knife. So you can use it as a bait knife or whatever you may do. So it's a pretty sweet little tool. It's like
I did not know that. That's really cool.
knife.
Knife.
And be careful because
See, watch.
the outside of the knife blade
Watch.
is
Let me show you.
sharp.
Ready? Knife.
Bam. Dad hat.
Or weapon. Or ninja weapon.
Bam.
They're pretty sweet. They're great. I keep one in my trout fishing bag, especially for like if you're backpacking or whatever. You go up, fillet your fish, scale
It's
it.
your dad joke. I like that one.
It's your dad joke.
Why don't they give Elsa a balloon? She'll let it go. That was for my kids. Yeah. Sean, you're banned.
That's great.
Sean is rolling back behind here.
Get out.
I'll be here all night, guys. That's for my kids. Ava, Austin, that was the best joke you've ever told.
Okay, well, let's go into all the things that we can put on the end of the line.
I'm going to
here.
go play in traffic. I'll be back.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
What
Yeah,
happened?
I had to wear a dad hat and tell a dad joke.
Oh, God.
It was uncomfortable.
We can talk about some scents, what you put on your yarnies and stuff.
Yep.
There's a whole bunch of different colored beads and stuff. It might
Whoa,
be good to
that
show how these
stinks.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I honestly think I see more often than not on that top leader on these bobber dogging setups, I more often than not see a piece of yarn. Wouldn't you say that's true?
Yeah.
On almost any lower river system where you got jet boats, where you have a lot of side drifting, or a lot of bobber dogging going on, and in those lower estuary spots where you have those long runs, a piece of bait or some sort of yarn ball almost always goes on top. I don't see people bobber dog a lot of double beads.
Yeah.
And I think it's because of the...
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
I don't either.
These
I
guys-
do say
hey,
I
really
see more
quickly,
people fishing yarn on top than anything
100%.
else.
say thank you to our super chat.
Oh.
See more butts?
Seymour,
Seymour.
Seymour Butts, thank you for the $2 super chat.
Have
We
a
appreciate
pizza
it.
for Seymour Butts.
More bucks? Jesus, we're all going to hell.
No, just you.
Just me.
All you guys that are thumbsing up and telling us that you're thumbs upping the video, thank you so much for sharing it out there and thumbs it up. We will randomly select one of you
Thumbs it
here in a
up.
second to win this prize. Make sure you're dropping some comments. Get your questions in because we're going to select someone randomly from the comments. So if you're not chatting and hanging out with us, you can't win.
All right, so Rob Carter, thank you for stopping us a little bit. So weight on these presentations. That is probably the most interesting part of this setup, correct? Because I've seen people fish high, blown out, muddy rivers with a piece of pencil lead that's almost smaller than like a number 7 split shot.
Yeah.
Another piece of like 2 split shots on their leader, and that's it. And they're on the bottom throughout the entire drift. The way I fish it is like Nick has it set up, at least with about a 1/2 ounce to a 3/8 ounce, Dave's Tangle or piece of lead.
Dude,
I like
I
a
found
pencil lead
one-
because I trim it back and
1/3.
forth. But
One-third fish
here's-
is the best, like just for me
Here's the key to what
When you're bead fishing?
this argument.
when I'm bobber dogging.
So
in
when you're
particular, but I
moving-
don't use beads. I use worms.
I'd use a lot of worms as well. When you're moving and you're fishing from a boat and you're moving, whether it's a sled or a raft or a drift boat, and you're moving, lightweight works better
Yes.
because it's going to be more natural presentation and you're not going to get hung up and you're going to move at the speed of the current. But when you're anchored or in a fixed position on the bank, it's a little bit different.
Okay.
You're trying to slow it down slower than the current, essentially. So you want that weight dragging a little bit and giving you a heavier. If you have a 1/3 ounce and you're in a seam, you're going to go through that so fast, and it takes forever for your gear to get to the bottom.
And we're talking quite literally having those 3 weights in your. That's what's so convenient about
Yeah.
the Dave's Tangle for
The
your
little pass,
anything
yeah.
else
Yeah.
is having those in your pocket, switching before you pull anchor, fishing that like light setup. Because there's plenty of times where I take this exact setup, I go to the lower river where I fish a lot, fish out of a sled, and I can't. And everybody else around me is hooking more fish than I am because I'm using so much weight.
Yep.
I'm not getting the right presentation, or I'm not fishing with the rest of the guys in the boat. So adapting that, you can use any weight is what the answer to that question is. You can use a tiny bit. You can use an 1/8 of an ounce of lead on there as long as you have enough room to spread that out to get that down. But you can also go with 3/4 of an ounce if
Yeah.
you need that. So
And it's real important that when you're fishing with multiple guys on a boat, that everybody's using the same. So what I typically do is I give my clients, I'll give them, a 1/2 ounce, a 1/3 ounce. And when we're going through shallow and shallow sections and moving, they go with their lighter weight. When we're fishing big, deep water that's fast moving, then we're going to go heavier weight. And you just kind of move it around from there. And it also depends on your bobber size, too. Some of the bigger or smaller bobbers won't take a heavier weight than a 1/2 ounce or even a 1/4 ounce, some of them. So you got to be careful selecting and matching your weight to your float size. So your float size is very important. So like I said, I use a large, well, I guess I was in the tutorial, but I use a larger float typically than most guys do. because I like to be able to add more lead in more different scenarios. If you can always have, a little more float out of the water with using lighter lead, but if you have too small of a bobber, you can't add more weight to that, because then you're taking your bobber under every time it hits the,
Well, and me personally, like I feel like the butt end, the dogging bobber style is effective, but it's not necessary. Correct?
No, you can bobber dog
I find most of my floats on the river,
Yeah.
so I kind of just play the cards I'm dealt as far as what floats I'm finding. And as long as
a hippie, dude. Oh
no, I'm just joking. But over the years,
You know
I've just
how I
got hundreds
typically
of
do it is
floats.
I wait for
And
a
a lot of
blowout,
them-
and then I
a
go
lot
to the
of them-
long jams, and I
exactly.
get all my floats for the season into the long jams.
Did he just say I can't wait?
Why would I buy them if they're sitting right? The river
Did he
giveth
just
and the
say-
river taketh, boys.
Oh,
But
God, I
I
love
even
that.
like the teardrop bobbers, like the clear teardrops that
Yes.
you get at Weimar or anywhere else.
Those ones I
Seem
find
to
a
work.
lot.
Seem to work just as good as a dogging float,
They do. Your float style doesn't matter. It's
as long as it's managing the weight.
Yeah, correct. And that you're fishing on the bottom. I mean, the idea of bobber dogging is to keep your weight hitting the bottom, keeping you in the section of water you're fishing, and keeping your float pushing you. I will say the flat back style floats like this are going to be more effective for bobber dogging and keeping you in a seam or the same line that you're trying to fish than a standard size float will, because you're getting the push from the water. And so that push of the current is taking you, downriver, which is it's basically the water's hitting here and pushing you downstream, keeping you in that certain slot,
Yeah.
So no, you can use any bobber you want. The whole bobber dogging came from flat style floats. For years before these were even came out, we were taking.
Well, it makes sense too. If you're using a heavier weight, you need that extra push
Absolutely.
from that flat to pull that heavier weight along.
Yeah, yep, exactly. And
It takes out a lot of operator error on mending and stuff. I know.
Oh,
that,
absolutely.
especially.
Yeah.
oh yeah, 100%. And
Bigger float you can pull harder on.
yeah, and that's what I've always, even with like my worms and stuff, you're even when I'm fishing worms, Jesus, Jordan. No, we don't need to go look for some
Just
bobbers
keep
in the
talking.
morning.
Yeah.
But even when I'm worm fishing, I fish a little heavier float because for my clients who aren't as experienced as I am, who haven't fished as much as I have, they have an easier time mending that line without affecting the drift all the time. If you're fishing a weightless float, every time that client moves that line, it's pulling that float, and if you're trying to keep a natural drift, that's impeding catching fish sometimes. So run a little bit heavier, they can pull a little harder on the mend, and they're good to go.
Nick, we finding some good comments here or what?
You seen any sun lately, Nick?
Hey, quit it.
Rude.
It's hot in here, dude.
It's super hot, dude.
I know,
Turn that heater off.
It is.
Marlon
it's
said it was
getting hot in
12
here.
degrees in here, and he's got long johns, waders.
He's
just got done
all
fishing.
bibbed up.
All right, I'm going to show you guys what this little bead peg side cam, Clint. Clint, I need some side cam.
Yeah, so I really prefer these little Brad's
Yes, they're
row
awesome.
stops because they don't mess your line up and they're super easy to use. They're
Yep.
cheap.
Yeah, so all it is like it's like a toothpick shaped piece of rubber basically, and you got to be careful what typically buy the ones that go with the beads you're fishing, because like these ones Brad's make, they're made for that size of bead hole. Some of the other ones are a little bit thicker and won't go into a lot of the bead holes.
I just use twigs off there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And if
I
you're-
just whittle a
and
twig
if you're
with my
Jordan,
grooving
you
knife.
just tear a branch down.
No, I actually I have pegged beads with a twig before. Yeah.
We know. We didn't even second guess it.
like I really do that.
Yeah.
He's like, I pretty much just find my floats,
I'm
whatever
survivalist,
the earth
man.
gives me. So, anyways, all you're gonna do is you're gonna take your
You mean you don't
your
pick up
bead, and you're gonna take that little piece of plastic, and you're just gonna feed it right alongside your line there. And sometimes it can be a little tricky. And then once it starts to protrude out the other side there, I think you can see that little nub. I like to just grab that. Alright, you guys are dirtbags, dude. I can't even do this anymore. You got to be careful right here, though, because when you pull that too hard, it will pull all the way out. And then you're just going to cut the tag end right here. So And I like to get it a little bit better than that, but. So basically I just take my knife and just press down, get rid of the excess. The cool part about this is now you have no bobber stop on there, you have no bead tied in. It's pretty much your bead in your, oops, sorry guys. Now that insert is in there, we go. So that insert is in there, and that is going to hold that bead in position. So that you can put it at your 2 finger length or 3 fingers. I typically do about two fingers spacing, so I would slide this down just like that, and right above your hook, just like that, and it'll keep it right in place. So it's a super easy and effective way to keep your bead pegged, and this is going to go on your bobber dogging setup as well. So pretty awesome little thing.
Yeah, I really like those a lot. And then with the Brad's beads, I know Jordan, like we were talking about it, they're nice. A lot of people use those for like base, right? For like to do your own little random tricky creations.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, they fish them straight out.
No, a lot of them.
Actually, they do. Charles, this is
really
Charles's favorite. This one right here, he talks about that bead like it's like something out of a.
It definitely works everywhere.
Okay, guys, I'm going to show you side cam, Clint. No, don't. I don't want to ruin Charles' game.
Charles doesn't care.
I don't care. Yeah, that bead works.
He'll still outfish everyone, even if he.
He'll start throwing uppercuts if he has to.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah,
The whole
it really
Clint.
does work.
What's the color of that one on the
Nail
back?
polish bead.
Nail polish.
Nail polish.
It looks
That
like
bead
nail
works.
polish.
And guys, like, this is the other thing about this type of fishing. There are so many colors and
Yeah, we're not getting.
shades and
yeah.
painting, and there's so many different things you could do with your bead setup. It's not. We're not talking technical beads here, but it's.
Is that my coat?
You're gonna throw up.
It just stinks really
So there's
bad.
lots of different things you can run. You can run pinks, oranges, what color.
Yeah,
that's
we
why
won't
we're
get
not
into
talking
that
about
today.
Yeah.
We got plenty of live feeds to talk about the colors of the stuff on your
Yeah.
line, but
Yeah.
you know, yarny or beads are definitely going to be the top, or bait. Bottom end, what do you usually go for the bottom end? I like to go with a smaller presentation.
I
a lot
usually
of
run a
times.
smaller bead, like a 10 mil or
Yeah.
8 mil, or even smaller.
Do you always use a yarn? Like, do you ever bobber dog worms or
I
anything
use
like
worms
that?
quite a bit. Yes.
By itself, or do you double set up worms?
No, just single setup.
Yeah, now
Because
that's how I like.
the way I see it is when it's in the current, that tail flailing, you're getting just so much tangle. You know, it is. You do get tangled quite a bit.
Do you catch a lot of fish on them?
Yes, absolutely.
Why don't you rig one up really quick?
Because I don't have a needle, and
Do you do it with a needle, or you just thread it on there?
no, I do it with a needle because you can't. If you just thread them, it just tears off.
No.
I'm not an addicted worm.
Well,
Show him, Jordan. Jordan just filmed a tutorial on this.
cool. How
We'll
long
try
do
it
you
really
fish
quick.
it for? One cast?
No.
This is all he ever does, dude. This is the guy that uses twigs.
Oh well, that's
Kirby.
different. That's right. Show us one of your bobbers you found. Too.
All of them say ADX on them.
He says, "What giveth, what Mother Nature says."
He
Yeah,
says
the river giveth and the river taketh.
No, we literally, dude. He just showed me this, and it's actually a pretty. I think he's just got a lot of practice at it. So it like, why wouldn't it work?
It doesn't go perfect, but when you're bobber dogging a worm, it's just dragging around, flailing around down there anyways.
I mean, wagon style does look pretty funky going down the river.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, I'm a little. I like my looking good
We're gonna show you guys.
and clean, and I don't leave tags hanging off my line and twigs on my bobbers, dude. Just keep it clean, boy.
Matt Senior, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate it. We'll see you at the show, man.
Yes, sir.
Do you want this cut down?
Yeah.
I'll bring the Ciroc, dude. You're gonna get shit faced at the show, dude. Everyone's gonna be on a mission to see.
All right, let's
drink
change
Pro
sides
Cure.
here.
Back to cam seat.
Okay.
Side cam.
Side cam. Oh, that is a clean cut.
That's what Gerber scissors
Gerber
do.
scissors. All right, let's try this here. So I like to run it right along with the line that's created from that mold. And I try to get it as centered as possible as I run that down. And using the stretch of the worm is kind of what makes this possible. Also, I'll go through as much of that meat as I can, pull it down, stretch it across that bar. Basically just pull it down as far as I think I'm going to want it. I like to go at least to as far as the jig shank would be if you were putting that on a jig head.
And Jordan saying that it works on the addicted steel worms, there actually is some validity to that because some of the other worm manufacturers, you cannot do this to. It will rip the worm to shreds because the plastic is way too soft. So if you try this on some of the other worm manufacturers, it may not work.
Just like so. And I either like to put a corky or another little bead below that. So I'll pull that up my line a little way so I got room to tie another little knot. And I'll put that bead below there, probably something around like a 10 mil.
Like this guy?
Mainly to keep that thing from sliding back over the hook. Because every time you get snagged or you rip on it or heck you get a fish, that worm's going to want to slide back over the hook and ruin your presentation.
Time out. So why wouldn't you just thread it? Because the whole point of...
If you didn't have a worm threader. I don't carry a worm threader around.
This is just like the other day. One day we were just like, he does this all the time. Like he just rigs it up really quick on the river, just to do something
You
different.
don't like whittle a stick into a needle?
No. I talk to the beavers and they do it for me.
Jesus, dude.
Oh, we got another super chat from Justin. Thank you so much. He asked a question, Nick, how to quickly find depths when bobber dogging. Before we answer that real quick, though, let's say thank you so much to Winkerbean Meows. Your guys' names are hilarious. I love it. See you at the Sportsman Show as well, buddy. And then Sean Clowry says, I don't know what that means, buddy, but no, I don't think he is.
So there it is.
No, it was the scent box he was about to throw.
Oh, yeah.
No, that was all the shrimp and
Nastiness.
Pro-Cure box, yeah. That's one of the best. So that's how you do it. You can use a worm threader like Nick's talking about. It makes it a little cleaner, obviously a lot faster if you're going to be rigging it up either wacky or normal, but it's a good way to get away with it. You don't want to go with a very big bead on that bottom end because you don't want to cover up your hook gap because it's going to be right on the end there. But that's a great way, and then you add this right into your bobber dogging setup. So I got about a 3.5 foot leader. Put that split shot or whatever you want in between. I like to add some line to that leader. Unless I'm just fishing like a foot long leader or something like that, which is doable as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just depends on what kind of clarity you're faced with.
Yeah.
You know.
What did you think?
That works perfect. Same thing. I mean, same. It's honestly the same thing you're doing with a threader.
Yeah.
I mean, to a degree.
And you see, it does. I mean, I didn't hit that perfect.
Yeah.
But if you practice and did it a lot.
But see, I rig my worms head down
Right.
to the bead with the tail up.
Right. Which is still possible.
And
You could still do it the same way.
Yeah, you just come in
go
down
in
here.
through this
It'd
side.
actually be easier.
Yeah, it'd probably be easier to do it that way.
So you
So
can
same
pull down
thing.
the
I mean,
tail.
it's yeah.
And then you just leave the hook dangling?
Yep. Just trails just like that. But that's why I like running them head down, because when you run it head down, you now have that is your presentation. You know what I'm saying? And they're usually going to eat something head first. It's all exposed hook. There's no dangling to it. You know, the tail is up here dangling on it.
Dangling on the line, not in front of the hook.
And I will say that it works quite well sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, some days that's what all you can get them to eat. You know,
It's a worm.
you got to have confidence in what
Gotta
you
have
fish.
confidence in the worm
It's
and
it.
not the bead.
I mean, seriously, that's it. And I have had days, and not high water days either, low clear days where they will eat a worm 10-1 over a bead. Like there's something about it. It's what they're eating, you know, or what they're triggered by essentially on that certain day. Are you going?
I'm doing it backwards, dude. I flipped it around.
Side cam.
Side cam.
Get it from the back
Look at
side.
this side cam of that ponytail. God, that is some skill right there, Jordan.
Okay, well, what's next?
Oh, what was that question someone asked? Hey, you read a question. Go back up to that.
Oh, yeah, we needed to get back to that guy's super chat question.
He asked me something about...
Yeah, how to quickly find depths when bobber dogging.
So here's my solution for that. Your bobber dogging float, using that flat back float, your true bobber dogging style float. It's simple. When you put your weight on and you cast out, if you're too shallow, your bobber is going to try to stand up vertical. If you're deep enough, your bobber will lay on its side and angle downriver. So if your bobber's straight up and down, you don't have enough weight. I mean, you're not deep enough. If it's angled like this and you can kind of see it digging a little, you know you're hitting bottom. So I always, you know, today in the video we shot, I wasn't deep enough on my first couple casts, you know, and sliding it deeper and deeper, and all of a sudden the bobber laid on its side and ran proper. Yeah, see, like that.
Get a better shot in side cam.
Side cam.
So this is the way I rig my worms here, just like that, guys.
Same idea, actually a little bit easier to actually get on there if you don't have a threader. Threader's just gonna get it on really evening.
Really,
It's gonna give it
Really straight.
talk.
My name's
Gonna
John
get it
Aaron.
on there really even, and keep you from getting a bunched up worm.
Now, the only downfall to fishing a worm like this is you better have a lot of them because every fish you catch will most likely shred it. And setting the hook on these, it's pulling tension on the side of the worm, so you are going to tear through worms, and it is going to go through your worms. So don't think you're going to go out and fish one worm. Yeah, that's important. That's a great conversation. Yep. If you just see your bobber go under and you're setting the hook, you're going to just tear through your worms. It's going to be the most frustrating kind of fishing because it takes time to set this up. So either set some up prior to going out to the river, or don't just set them up on the river, most of the time, because you probably will go through quite a few. But when this bobber goes down, instead of setting the hook, reel until you feel tension on that fish, because a lot of times, they'll have the worm, depending on which way they grab it, in the middle of their mouth, whatnot. Reel till you feel it, then set the hook, and you're going to save yourself a lot of worms and a lot of time tying stuff up. And those mustache hooks are sharp because it just went right in my finger.
Jordan, if it starts to rip, do you just use your lighter and melt it and stick it back together?
Yep.
He
And
actually
more
builds a fire first.
Yeah, more so with the jig head though, because you're not gonna be able to remelt that worm on that line like that.
Jesus Christ. You are the most crafty human being I've ever met,
Dude, you've never been stuck in Bush, Alaska trying to catch a bunch of steelhead and you're running out of the good worm.
We got another super chat from Winker Bean. Thank you so much, dude.
Winker Bean, I want to say your name again. Keep
Winker
doing
Bean meows. Did I miss any more, Clint?
No.
Oh, there's one from Colin. Colin Skelly, thank you so much, buddy.
Thank you, Colin.
Can you run the presentation too deep?
Yes, you can. I mean, it's a thing of feel. You're going to have to just get out there and do it and see how, your float reacts. When you're too deep, you'll know. You're either going to have to go lighter weight or shallow up, because if you're too deep, you're going to be hanging up all the time. You'll either hang up or your bobber will be essentially what I call chugging, and it's just like, dredging the bottom, and it's just constantly going under every time it hits bottom. So if I see that dredging motion with
That's
my
why
bobber,
a lot of times when I fish with Popoff, he's like, yeah, I was like 29 for 54 today.
Yeah.
And he counts every bobber down on bobber.
And then I
Doggin,
show him
and he gets-
pictures of all the dead fish in my boat, and he goes home crying.
Sure.
I hooked 71 today.
Clint, can you pick a winner for this Okuma hat and the Gerber Defender, please, buddy?
Don't forget at the end, guys, stay tuned, because you might get a chance to win a dad hat.
Who do we got, Clint? Go ahead and pick one.
Yes, dude. Who is that? Give him a hat.
Who do we got, Clint?
Robert Downing Jr.
Chad Pearson, you won yourself an Okuma hat and a Gerber Defender. Chad Pearson on Facebook. Send us your address to orders.
See, that guy's all stoked. He found 7.
Fishing. Orders at addicted.fishing with your address, please, and we'll get this stuff shipped out to you, buddy.
That guy found 7 floats today.
Well, by golly.
Good job, brother. Way to keep that river clean.
Well, I'm not going to pass up a nice float going by.
Okay, should we get a dad hat giveaway?
God forbid I do.
My God, I'm not gonna make
Dude, we're gonna give a
depend
dad
on a
hat
bobber
away.
float down the river to have a setup.
No, I mean, I just haven't had to buy them in a long time. Wow.
And one of these.
It's got to be someone that's going to wear it, though. Like, don't comment if you're not going to wear it or use it.
Well, it's too late now because they all want to win this.
And
The dad hat just gets thrown in incidentally.
And it got worn in Jordan's hair.
If you win the dad hat, you have to come to the Sportsman Show wearing it. That's the rule.
Yep. Or send us a picture.
If
of
you're
you
in the
public with
Midwest,
it
you're
on.
gonna have to fly here, dude. I don't know what to tell you.
Sorry. We need at least a picture on Instagram of you wearing it in a public place.
Yes, the dad. We can do that. Start the hashtag
dude.
dad hat trend. Where we're just sending people to take random pictures all over.
With the dad hat.
All right, so don't leave us tonight. What do we want to do here? We're gonna get one more little question round in here, and then
Yeah.
So we're gonna let you guys. We're gonna give you an opportunity to win an Addicted Dad hat that you all got to see us model, and a fillet away fish mat. This is one of our partners, awesome company. Make sure you guys are supporting them if you guys get a chance to. These fillet away mats are amazing when it comes to processing your fish. Drop your questions right now. We'll get your last minute questions in here of anything you guys want to talk about, bobber dogging or float fishing or any questions like that you have. We'll try to answer a few more here for you, and then we will call it a night.
Yep.
But before we leave, we will pick someone to win this.
I hope it's me.
I will wear it. Ray Bly.
What do we
Like
got? You
it.
seen any good questions?
Those hats are awesome, dude.
Kevin
a lot of people
Johnson,
love
see you
those,
at the
dude.
Sportsman Show, man.
I'll wear the dad hat.
No, I'm not knocking it, dude. Some people have different styles, and the
That's
dad
what I mean,
hat
and
is
that's
one
a
of the
new
styles.
thing that's
Yeah.
like coming back, dude. Is those not the flat bill? That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. I just saw a question. Do you use a bobber with a bead dropper setup? Yes.
Isn't Clinton old, Dad?
Yeah, actually, that was designed after his hat.
Yeah, it was his idea to put him on there.
His had a pineapple on it, though. Fucking hates us. Hell yeah, that's G up.
You guys got any more questions about
It's Rubio. I wear it.
this rod right here? Is a 9.9 that we were using, but yeah, anything in that 9.5 to 10.5 foot range. And man, I know even a lot of other guys are. You know, is you know anyone using like just even like big, huge?
You know, some of those guys that fish those bigger river systems, they use long rods.
13,
dude, 12,
14 footer.
13 footers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Big long rod.
Chris had a question. He said scent choices, which is why I pulled this box out, but Jordan put it away because he couldn't handle the smell. What'd you do with that thing, dude?
Pop-Up moved it.
Oh, right here. Go to side cam, Jordan, and show some scents here real quick.
Okay.
Yes, Gaffney, we did. We kind of covered, you know, how different types of weights will make your drift be a little different.
Yeah, we
But-
covered a lot of stuff, and guys, and don't forget, you can go back on YouTube or on Facebook and rewatch these videos. Just go to the YouTube section and click on the live feed playlist, or you can go to Facebook and go check those out there as well.
God awful.
What do you got,
But
Jordan?
you wish you had gloves
We
now.
got all kinds of things. Yeah.
So what's your favorite winter steelhead scent?
Dude, I mean, Anise is a good one. But
Anise.
The Chrome Blend works pretty damn
The
good.
winter chrome blend?
It's awesome. I mean,
It is.
really
The winter
does.
chrome blend does work really good. You can't. I mean, let's tell you a little secret. It has egg in it, and there's not a steelhead on the planet that isn't going to eat an egg.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
winter chrome blend works well. Jordan, what's your favorite scent? Don't say winter chrome blend.
Winter chrome band.
Oh my god.
No, I really like that new bait wax, the anise bait wax.
Oh, that is
stuff is
another one.
slick.
It's very sticky, and it's just so nice because
Do I have
everything
any of
I've
that?
used over the past is very.
Worm good?
Yeah, it just goes on there well. It's not tacky. It doesn't get on your fingers. You don't get it on on your waders, and then on your reel, and your bobber stop, and
Dude, those new little.
this stuff gets pretty toxic. It's like fishing herpes sometimes.
Yeah.
Some of your oil scents. You just cannot get it off your hands.
Those little bait sticks that Procure just came out with are awesome. Those are
That's what he's
very
talking
good
about.
one. No, I know. That's what I'm saying.
I don't have an actual anise one here. I have a bloody tuna, but
Oh, you
this-
can at least show them how
yeah,
it works.
Yeah. Where'd it go? There it is.
It's not somewhere in there.
Where'd it go? All right. So this stuff's pretty neat. To say the
I was trying to get Procure to make like a holder for it, so you could like clip it on your waders and then just pull it out. And
Yeah, so this stuff just comes out like a little deodorant stick, and you can see it's like a real waxy, kind of hard product there. You can get
I
it
do.
stuck right on there,
Stuart gave it to me.
and it'll stink up
too
your bead
slow, I'd already killed you.
or whatever
Yeah,
else.
because you had yours out.
This or like plugs or anything like that. This bait wax is pretty neat for. Very universal.
Sweet.
Yep.
There's some winter chrome blend.
I want for steelhead. I mean, for years, what I always used was crawfish. Crawfish was always one you couldn't.
Crawfish is.
Yeah, the crawfish scent was always something you just can't go wrong with steelhead.
Any fish.
Yeah, any fish really, because crawfish are everywhere.
Everywhere and everything freshwater eats them.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, crawfish scent works really well. It's kind of a standby. You can, like Ben said in the background, you can literally fish for anything. Did we miss any good little questions here? Sorry. If we missed your question, guys, sorry. Don't forget, like I said, you can go back and watch it, and maybe we answered it a lot in before because we talked about this in depth from start to finish here.
Obsessional defines disorder. Do we use twitching jigs for steelhead?
I personally haven't, but I hear more and more that people are catching them on twitching jigs. To be honest, I've tried it multiple times. I've gone into areas where I felt like there was a lot of steelhead, and I haven't been able to get them to eat those things. So, but I know there's guys that are doing it. Like I was talking to Kratzer about it, and he's a guy that's twitched jigs for years, way longer than I've probably even been alive, to be honest. And the guys, well, I wouldn't say that actually, but regardless, he says that he catches quite a few winners twitching jigs. So I'm sure it works. I don't have the gusto to go out and give it a try all day.
Full day of twitching for steelhead.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wouldn't that be
stick
hard?
To my normal.
Yeah.
Next time we float, Marlon, you should just stick to twitching.
Next time we float, I'll just twitch the whole time.
Sounds like that's a sure way to get you a fish.
It's the same with, like, you want to catch one on a spoon, you dedicate all day to a spoon, you'll catch one on a spoon.
Yep.
That's true.
Some
You're
days
right.
the spoon is where it's at.
So you guys
give
got a
that
whole bunch
mat
of-
away.
Yeah, super chat.
Who do we have? Kirk, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, what do you think about those scent chambers? What scent chambers?
I think he's referring to the trolling ones. I've never seen.
I don't know. I don't know what scent chambers you're talking about, buddy, or else I would help you answer. You guys.
I don't know if you're referring to like the weed guard scent chambers, like those that they set like from Oregon Tackle, or but those work great for trolling. But we're, all standard kind of river fishing right now for steelhead.
Yeah, we're kind of on the river fishing subjects.
But you Great Lakes guys, I bet those would be awesome over there.
Yeah, so I saw a guy said he uses the powdered scents, and that's something that I've been doing for years. The powdered krill, the powdered sand shrimp, those scents work extremely well. A lot of things what you can do is if you have other baits, you can use that krill to kind of juicing up your other baits that you may be using, whether it's a few of the unnamed ones that we're not going to talk about.
Really well, too.
Oh, yeah, and like Ben said, stays in your yarn. So if you get your yarn, yeah, that's a really good idea. Put it in the bag of yarnies and just kind of
You're welcome, Tanner. Merry
rip it
Christmas.
around. Yes, Tanner. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. All right, Clint, let's pick a winner here and let's move on for the night, and we will see you guys next week.
Hey, tons of people commented the dad hat is their jam.
No, I know.
So
That's
they're
what we were
on
saying.
The website.
Yeah.
So go to the website and buy them.
Yeah, seriously, if you guys like the dad hats, we did make a whole round of them for some of the people out there that may like that style. So if you guys want to purchase any of our gear, our apparel, our worms, our eggs, we do have a website. It's www.addicted.fishing right there, addicted.fishing. There's no .com, so it's just literally .fishing. Hit enter, and it'll take you to our website. And you can buy stuff on there if you would like. We would appreciate it. And the dad hats just happen to be one of the things you can buy on there. And we're going to give you guys... Clint's picking a winner right now. Someone's going to win a fillet away mat and a dad hat. Who do we got, Clint?
That hat is...
ES on YouTube. You won yourself a fillet away fish mat and a dad hat. Please shoot us an email to orders@addicted.fishing. Orders@addicted.fishing with your address and what you won, and we'll get this stuff shipped out to you.
Dude.
What?
Oh, he stuck his hand in tuna.
Who just rubs scent all over that bead and just leaves it on the counter, mulching around on the counter?
There's another super chat that you didn't address.
What is it? Go to it.
Ever use real worms? Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
We used to catch a lot of them on summer steelhead.
Justin Bergen, thanks for the super chat, buddy. Wait, who rocks what better? Who rocks flat bills better, Nick or Jordan? I don't know, dude. It's a modeling contest between the two.
Who rocks hair better? Damn it.
What was the other question he was asking? What? Right there? No, up a little. What do you think about? No, he answered that. Oh, the real worm ones, yeah.
Worms.
Yeah, if you're referring to like night crawlers and stuff like that, yeah, that's been a thing that's used for steelhead and trout and salmon for literally probably since the beginning of time. I don't think there's a fish on the planet that won't eat a night crawler. Again, it's like Ben said, night crawlers are one of those things, just like crawdads, that they're everywhere. They're in every body of water. They're all over the
Come out of the grass,
entire
fall in the
United
river.
States.
Yep.
So, night crawler works well.
We used
But
to
one thing
blow
I
them
hate,
up
and one
float
thing
them off
I've
the
never
bottom.
but even back when steelhead runs were a lot better, kind of in the Pacific Northwest, I used to play with night crawler a lot. But the reason I didn't like it, you caught, yeah, you catch too many smolt and too many other like random little things that you're not targeting, and so to me it just got in the way more than like helping me catch steelhead.
100%. Like
It's
that's
way too exciting for nothing to happen.
Yeah, yeah.
Bobbers going down all day.
Yeah.
yeah, and you're killing a lot of those fish too. Like a lot of those,
They
it's
can't
just
handle
like-
being those little guys can't.
They have the trout anymore.
True. There's not as many trout as there used to be either. We're not going to get into that little sad mess. If you guys want to help fix that, go support Hatchery and Wild.
Yeah.
Do it. We need every one of you.
All right, guys, we're gonna end it for the night. Thank you
Hold
again
on,
so
there's
much for
just-
tuning in. What do you got here, Nick? One last question.
I don't know. What just popped up there, Clint? What'd you put up
4
on the
new
screen?
comments. If you guys want Cabela's, I've seen this question a few times. Luke asked it, is Addicted Worms going to be in Cabela's? If you guys want Cabela's to stock our gear or buy our gear, whether it be from Mustad or from Addicted or whatever, go into your Cabela's. Go to the fishing store, go to the manager, go to the front desk, tell them that what the heck, why don't you guys have Addicted stuff in? Tell them who Addicted is. We need your guys' help sometimes to get those kind of things happening, because the more you ask for it, the more those retailers are inclined to bring it into their stores and sell it.
I'm sure there's somewhere you can write to them too.
Yeah, you can
any of
send
that
them an
stuff
email,
helps. Yeah.
whatever you guys want to do there. But we would be much appreciative, because then it would help us get those products into those stores. So thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. Don't forget, if you missed anything in here, you can go back and watch these feeds later. And tap subscribe if you're on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, it's time for you to kind of make that transition over to YouTube and come join us and subscribe.
Yep. Get over to YouTube. There's some good stuff on.
Dude, we're putting videos out almost every single day on our YouTube channel. Stuff from Jordan, stuff from Popoff, myself, Cameron, all sorts of cool stuff. We're putting insane amounts of work into it, so we want you guys to come see it all. So if you're not on YouTube,
Come join us.
Come join us.
Don't
And
be
for
shy.
all you supporters that are there, thank you so
you,
much. We
seriously.
appreciate it. We're going to keep making some cool stuff, and we got some really cool stuff coming.
Ooh, wait for that video. Pay attention. Put that bell notification on. You're
That's
going to
right.
want to see this one.
I still can't believe it
I
happened.
still can't believe it happened.
All right. All right,
Pretty
guys.
amazing.
We'll see you on the river.
See you on the water, guys.
Later.